I have played a lot of roguelikes over the past couple years, from The Binding of Isaac to Spelunky, Slay the Spire, Nuclear Throne, the list goes on and on and on. And even though I'm a big fan of the genre, it takes a lot to get me invested in a new roguelike. Roguelikes are the kind of games that require not only a ton of patience and learning, but a lot of technical skill, and they demand your time to become good at them. It's been a while since I've become really invested in one of these games, but I'm happy to report that a couple weeks ago I picked up Supergiant's new roguelike that is oh so clean and ever so greasy, Hades. In Hades, you play as Zagreus, the son of the titular character Hades, who's breaking out of the titular location Hades in order to go hang out with all the gods that live on Mount Olympus. And to do that, you have to fight your way out of floor after floor, boss after boss, and wave after wave of enemy using the legendary deadly artifacts you have at your disposal and a little help from the Olympian gods. Combat in Hades is extremely satisfying, some of the most satisfying combat of any roguelike I've ever played. Not only do you have 6 different weapons at your disposal, from swords, spears, shields, and a gun, but each one of those weapons also has 4 different aspects, versions that change the weapons and give them unique abilities. Some of these are moderate abilities, like giving you more ammo or giving you increased reload speed. Some of these are completely game-changing, like changing the bullets from your gun into lasers and fireballs. One of the big elements of roguelikes is the random factor of each run, and Hades takes advantage of that randomness but also gives players the ability to tweak their runs ever so slightly, giving you just enough to choose what kind of run you want, but never giving you everything you want, and still forcing the player to make decisions on the fly. Combat in Hades is just fantastic, but I would be remiss if we didn't talk about all the other things from the game that are just dripping with quality. Quality from a studio that admittedly has a pretty high pedigree, with games like Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre under its belt. Hades has an awesome cast of characters, each with a lot of personality, and yes, there's waifu bait. Medusa-chan is my waifu, ooh woo. But it's not just the characters that make Hades interesting. Every single aspect of this game is gleaming with quality, from the characters to the art design to the music, the sound design, the UI. It's pretty good. We're talking straight A's across the board. One of the most fascinating things about Hades is the way that it not only understands what makes roguelikes so interesting, but it embraces it to the core. In a lot of roguelike games, the permadeath mechanic is kind of a ludonarrative dissonance. What you do run to run and your constant deaths and repetitions and restarts aren't usually tied to what's happening in the story, but in Hades, it's all canonical. Everything is happening, to the point where you literally have characters that talk about what was happening in your previous run and what killed you. And if you died by standing in lava again, you stupid son of a... The weapons bring a ton of variety to Hades, but the thing that stands right next to them are the numerous boons you can get from the Olympian gods. Taking a bonus from Zeus can give you chain lightning or lightning bolts when you dash, or lightning. Taking a boon from Poseidon can let you get some nar waves by rolling over enemies with a big surfboard, and taking a boon from Aphrodite can get you demonetized on YouTube. The gods can offer you a huge variety of different upgrades, but the thing that makes it interesting isn't just taking one god, but multiple, and seeing all the different varieties and synergies that you can get by combining the powers of different gods, from critical to freezing effects to damage over time to YouTube demonetization. During your run, you'll also acquire currencies that you can use to upgrade your character from run to run. Like most roguelikes, these start with pretty basic things like increasing your health or giving you more gold at the start of the game, and eventually you end up having increased chances for legendaries or even giving yourself multiple self-revives during your playthrough. Hades, like most roguelikes, is a game with a lot of things going on. From the upgrades from run to run, to the different weapons, their aspects, the god boons, all the synergies you can get, duo boons that combine powers from multiple gods. It's a lot to take in, but ultimately all these different parts come together to create something that is legitimately one of the best roguelike experiences I have ever had. And I have a little bit of authority in the subject. One of Hades' most unique aspects is a system called heat. Once you've cleared the game for the first time, you're given the opportunity to go back into the game and increase the difficulty by adding modifiers to your subsequent runs. These modifiers can range from anything to making prices in the shops go up, making you take more damage, making more enemies show up in the rooms, and eventually literally spawning multiple bosses in the boss room, or giving you a time limit per every floor. Increasing your heat levels doesn't seem like something substantial at first, but the difficulty racks up very, very quickly, and it is admittedly addictively satisfying to see how high you can increase your heat level and still get that oh so satisfying victory. If you can't tell by now, I quite like Hades. It's technically not a new game. The game's been in early access for over a year, but it just released its 1.0 version in September of 2020. And I have to tell you, I am so upset that I have missed out on this game for all these months. Hades is not just one of the best games I've played this year, but it could possibly be my favorite game that I've played this year. I can talk about Hades for a lot longer, but if you're at all interested in playing the game, I suggest instead you pick it up and play it for yourself. Part of the fun of the game is checking out all the different things that it has to offer and experiencing the lovingly handcrafted story with the awesome visuals and music. You will not be let down. Hades is available right now on PC and Nintendo Switch, and if you have any interest in playing it at all, I highly recommend it. I could not recommend it enough. Pick it up, please. Try it out. Just try it out already. Have you heard of this game before? Is this something that you're thinking about picking up? Are you still on the fence? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you find this review helpful at all, consider hitting that like button. It helps us tremendously. And if you like what we do here on the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell. Get notified when a future video goes up. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time, and hopefully you check out this awesome game. Bye.